I had no ambitions of coming to university when I finished high school. I actually wanted to become a checkout chick. Was what I wanted to do, because it sounded like it was something that was not too hard. I didn't have to work very hard if I was a checkout chick. Sounds terribly lazy, doesn't it? And I ended up coming to university as a last resort. My mother actually put in my university application for me because I wouldn't have bothered on my own. And I made myself the deal that if I could get a job before any offer of place came back, I'd actually take the job and ignore university. And what I didn't realise was that in having finished my senior certificate, I was too old to be employed as a checkout chick because it costs too much. You cost more money once you're 17. And I got no job. I got an offer of place, and so I came here to the university. I did a Bachelor of Computing here, 3 years, followed by an Honours of Computing, followed by a PhD. So I've actually been associated with this place continuously for about 17 years, if you include my time here as a student and my time here as a staff member. On database topics, so I was actually looking at a couple of different areas in database topics, and I won't go too deeply into it because really, truly, if you want to hear nerdy, that's the best place to go, is to have a look at my PhD topics. Looking at databases and, in some respects, looking at some of the ways in which students struggle with learning the concepts of database concepts and what aspects make it hard, what aspects make it easier. So it was actually very informative towards my teaching. It actually made me a significantly better teacher, I believe, by having done my PhD. I'm currently on secondment for the duration of 2011. I'm a business analyst in the Information Technology Directorate at the moment. I'm working on a project called Nexus, which also is another big nerdy thing, which, to make it, condense it down into a couple of sentences. It's everything to do with running a program or a course. We want to give you one place to enter that, and you enter it once, and it tells every other system that needs to know about it. So I'm the business analyst on that project for 2011 and am expected to go back to my substantive position as a senior lecturer in 2012. Okay, that's probably one of my worst kept secrets is my love of the theatre. It's not something I actually normally tell people about. In fact, my family only vaguely know of my my involvement with the theatre, so it'll be interesting. I hope this video doesn't go viral because it'll be really the worst kept secret. And I think it's probably one of the most interesting points that I can make, and one of the points I was trying to make to some of the high school kids the other day. Yes, I absolutely love the theatre. I'm a theatre nut. I've been a veteran of the theatre seat for many, many years, and only probably in the last 3 or 4 years made the cross to the other side of the proscenium and actually had to go out on the other side of the stage. And I'm involved in all sorts of aspects. I have done some of the actual acting. I'm being a stage manager at the moment for the current production. I really had no natural talent for the abstract thinking, for the mathematical and logical thinking that underlies something like computing. And having come here to CQU, I learned that. I actually acquired that by just pure application and persistence. And that's one of the messages that I've been trying to get out to people, is that just because you don't succeed the first time you try it, don't presume that you can't do it. That's not the same thing. You don't have to be intrinsically and naturally talented at something in order to be successful. That's completely and utterly irrelevant. And sometimes actually I think it's a disadvantage if you're naturally talented at something, because you expect everything to come easily, and as soon as you hit something that's a little bit challenging, you don't have the discipline always to actually overcome that. Whereas if you have to work at something like I did, then that becomes your talent, your discipline, your application, and actually learning how to learn. That was probably the biggest thing I learnt here at uni, was learning how to learn. When I was a small girl, I used to go to church with my father, and I can remember seeing somebody interpreting for the father up the front, and I was fascinated. I looked at it, wow, I so want to do that one day. Completely forgot about it. And then back in the late 90s, here at the uni, they offered a course in sign language. They sent out an email inviting people to come to the course, and I instantly remembered that sight from church when I was about 12. And I thought, yes, that's for me, I have to do that. And it was truly mind-boggling. There is no language, no spoken language like sign language, because in a spoken language you describe space and there's nothing, it's purely arbitrary, the words that are used in a spoken language to describe space, whereas sign language is truly spatial, and that's something you cannot get in a spoken language. So it is mind-boggling.